Hello there and welcome to the Tax-Free Crypto Podcast. I sure have enjoyed you being a part of my journey as we just started this podcast. Just a few weeks ago, the feedback I've been getting, not just from family and friends, but also people who were networked in to listen in. So thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope this grows. Share it with friends and family. If you're crypto curious and you have a friend in your life who's crypto curious, send this to them. Hopefully, because what I'm trying to do is take some complex news and make it a little bit more simple to understand. If it's helpful to somebody, maybe you're trying to get a spouse, a girlfriend, boyfriend interested in crypto because they're not on the journey with you yet, hopefully this will help them. But if not, I'm still grateful that you are listening in. All right, let me say this again. I'm going to starting out every podcast with this, but if you are interested in becoming an affiliate for Tax-Free Crypto, I would be delighted to have a conversation with you. If that is you, if either you yourself personally are a affiliate marketer, whether you have a good social media presence and you're looking for another way to make some extra cash, and I could fit within the model of your social brand, please email me, Eric@taxfreecrypto.com, Eric@taxfreecrypto.com. If it's part of your business model, let's have a conversation and let's help each other get the news out about our exchange where you can trade cryptocurrency on our platform through a tax-free vehicle that's called a Roth IRA. Speaking of that, if you are also somebody who's listening and you don't yet have an account set up with us, or you're looking for other creative ways to add to your strategy on how to trade cryptocurrencies, again, going it through a tax-free opportunity with us would be good. If you go to our website, which is taxfreecrypto.com, taxfreecrypto.com, you go into the upper right-hand corner and you click on Get Started. That'll bring you to another page. On that second page is where you're going to put in your email, and then there's a spot for a promotion code or a promo code. If you just type in the promo code podcast, it just lets me know that that's where this traffic is coming from. But B, it gives you a free Roth IRA account. You can go across the country to different, financial institutions to try to set up a Roth IRA, a self-directed Roth IRA, and it'll charge you a few $100s a year for a maintenance fee and things like that. Tax-free crypto, we do not charge a maintenance fee annually. We do charge a $250 setup fee, a maintenance fee at the beginning just for administrative purposes. But if you're watching this podcast and you use the promo code podcast, it'll be completely free to you. The only fees that you pay are the low transactional costs when you trade on our website. And on our exchange, on our platform, we have many of the most popular coins that you want to trade from. And what it is when you buy Bitcoin or when you buy Ethereum, let's say, at the current price, when you get the gains, right, when you make money from that investment, you don't have to pay taxes on those gains. I'm going to do a completely different podcast in the upcoming weeks about this to explain to you exactly how a Roth IRA works, because I want it to be beneficial to you. But right now, I want to get the word out that there's another strategy that you can use when it comes to investing, and that is doing it in a Roth IRA. And we at Tax Free Crypto give you that opportunity to do so. Also, another pretty cool thing, I already have some guests that are lined up to be part of this podcast, some very famous names that are going to come in, so I'm very excited about that. Please stay tuned for that. You can share those episodes as well. People who are going to talk about life and leadership and some spirituality things and about money investments. And so I have a lot of this coming up, a lot of big things that are happening in this show, so I'm glad that you're in on the ground up. Okay, to our news now. We had some bad news, I guess, that came in on Friday. The deadline was actually Sunday the 13th, but the news came out on Friday that the SEC was supposed to get back to Cathie Wood, who is the CEO of ARK Investments. She put in for a spot ETF. By the way, if I'm using terms you don't quite understand, my episode from last week discusses exactly what is an ETF, specifically what is a spot ETF, and what's the difference between a spot ETF and a futures ETF. I explained it all in the episode from last week, so listen to that in the archive. But on the 13th, we were supposed to hear from the SEC about approving ARK Invest's spot Bitcoin ETF, and they did get back to us, or the whole world, or actually to Cathie Wood. She put in for a spot ETF in 2021, so it took this long for them to get to the approval because it was the deadline. And they didn't deny her. but they also didn't approve her. They pretty much just said, not at this time. Not at this time. And so with that being said, we're thinking it won't be reviewed for another 8 weeks as it is. But on the heels of that, you have BlackRock and Fidelity and other large institutions that have put in for the same spot ETF for their companies. So we'll kind of see how that goes. What we think is going to happen is, now, if you want to put on your tinfoil hat with me with that, what we think is actually happening is that the elites are, the SEC buying the elites some time to buy it up before it goes super high when those exchanges come in, or they're just not ready. So what we actually think, it's a no for now, but it's not a no completely. So within the next 8 weeks, Kathy's going to be reviewed again, and then the others are going to be looked at very, very shortly. So liken it to this. Right now, I recently read an article. I have 4 daughters, right? I told you that before. I read an article how Taylor Swift's, this concert that she's been putting on across the states, and now she's going international with it, is raking in, estimated at $4.6 billion. Now, if you compare that to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, that's on par with the Olympics. Taylor Swift, Tay-Tay, as many of us affectionately call her, $4.6 billion on that tour. So imagine this with me. What happened Friday or this weekend is equivalent to you preparing to go to a Taylor Swift concert, right? You have your kids ready to go. You buy brand new outfits to go out, and you're about ready to go, and day of, they postpone or cancel the concert at the venue that you were at. You're disappointed. You're upset. You spent all this money preparing for it. You can't go, and now the waiting game happens again. So what happened Friday was exactly what happened if you were waiting in line to go to this mega tour that Taylor's putting on. You're just like, oh, man, I prepared for it. I got my Roth account set up at tax-free crypto. I was waiting for the right moment to buy up as much as I possibly could, and then this is sort of denied. Now, this is not necessarily bad news altogether. It's just disappointing news. Like, come on, guys, get with it. Probably what's going to happen is, unless we get a new change in government or a new chair in the SEC, there might be a longer postponing to this. The reason why we anticipate it is we want institutional money to come into the crypto space. And until there's a spot ETF, again, a spot ETF is because that asset, that ETF owns the part of the asset. Institutional money, people who run hedge funds, 401ks, and retirements and stuff like that, they can't just go buy crypto, but through an ETF, they can buy part of that. So we want institutional money to come in, which raises the price, so on and so forth. But it's not exactly terrible and bad news, but it is postponed. So the approval of a spot ETF would truly legitimize crypto in the place that it ought to be. So it's not like our hopes of a Bitcoin ETF are completely frozen, but they could do with a jacket. Let's just say that right now. But don't let your hopes be destroyed. It is still on sale, meaning that it has not blossomed yet. So you're still an early adopter if you get in today. Other big news that are happening this week is filled with product launches, token unlocks, retail data, which, by the way, this is the holy trinity for price volatility, meaning in the next coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of volatility. You have Home Depot and Walmart. They're coming out with their earnings report that's coming up. So that's always on the market. That affects a lot of this stuff. Shiba Inu's new blockchain is set to launch this week on August 15th, August 16th. There's also rumors that centralized exchanges, this is cool, could be listing tokens from the Shiba Inu ecosystem this week as well. So today is August 15th, and so that is launching either today or tomorrow. And the exchanges, other exchanges might say, hey, what tokens do they have or what products do they have that they'll list on those exchanges? So that's actually exciting news for the meme coin part of our industry for Shiba Inu. So consider buying some of that if you are into meme coins. There's token unlocks. $200 million worth of tokens will be unlocked this week, including SAND, S-A-N-D, right? The crypto SAND, unlocking 16% of its supply. APE, APE, they're unlocking 4% of their supply. And so there's more. Those are just two of the more famous coins within that ecosystem. So token unlocks $200 million. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, the macro data, which is retail sales data and initial jobless claims, are going to be released later this week. So the trifecta of what could be a volatile market is always within those three ideas, which is product launches, token unlocks, and retail data. So keep a close eye. I'll help to keep a close eye on that, and I'll update it if you're following me on X, the company formerly known as Twitter, taxfree_crypto. I try to post as many of those things as I can. So follow me on there if you're there, and let's discuss some things together. So I just want to say this, tread lightly because there's a 100% chance of volatility. Be careful on that. I'd love to see you on our exchange, Tax Free Crypto. Go to the website, and I'll bring more tips as they come along. So thanks for tuning into today's episode. I hope you have a beautiful week.